What's up, everyone? Yesterday was an amazing day in gaming, and I'm here to show you why and also give my opinion on just who won yesterday, really. That's the big question on everyone's mind after E3. Did Microsoft or Sony throw the bigger punch, and who won that battle? And first thing I'm going to do is talk about what happened on each conference to really go by the numbers to see who really won. I know a lot of these announcements some people don't care about, but I'm going by how big each announcement was for both of the console manufacturers. So if you start with Microsoft, they came out with Halo 5, and really that's kind of a boring start to the show because we already know Halo is going to be out in October. It's a pretty bland start in my opinion. But then they stepped the game up with Recore. I thought that was a cool thing that they did, coming out with Mega Man's co-creator, coming out with a game for him. I thought it was cool. There was robots, and you played as like this little girl, and you controlled the dog a little bit, or you worked together. I kind of like that. And then the biggest announcement, I think, from the whole show was honestly Microsoft having backwards compatibility with Xbox 360 games. I think that is the biggest thing that happened at this conference, to be honest, because all of those games on the old console are bigger than the games that you can play. Like, if they announced maybe 5 games coming to a console, that's still bigger having 1,000 games that you can come back to on the Xbox One. I think Sony almost has to come up with something. I know PlayStation Now is there, but it's nowhere near what Microsoft announced if they pull it off. So the next thing they came out and did was Fallout 4 PC mods work on Xbox One, but sadly for Xbox, I guess it's good for everyone else, is PlayStation probably going to be getting those. That's what the reports say, so that's probably going to happen. Next, Forza 6 was shown, which is not surprising, with a September 14th release date. This also goes under my boring-ish parts of the show, because Forza 6 is a very niche game, and it's good. I like it, but I just don't feel like that's a huge thing that they could do. It's cool that they have that game coming out, but it's semi-annualized with that in Horizon now, so it's not that big of a deal. And then I think one of the underrated announcements coming out of the show that most people weren't talking about, I guess, was Dark Souls 3 was shown. Not any real gameplay, just a trailer. Coming out in 2016, I think that's pretty cool. And then you move on. The Division has the first beta on Xbox One. Nothing else really there. I think they might have a little bit of content exclusive to Xbox One. And then Rainbow Six Siege also was shown, given an October 13th release date, so coming pretty early, and that's going to come with the other 2 Rainbow games from the Xbox 360 for free. And then the game that I've been really interested in from Microsoft really is Cuphead. It's been at Gamescom and E3 last year, and I was really intrigued just seeing the cool art that they have in that. And I think that's by far the biggest indie there. Coming up next, you have HoloLens shown with Minecraft. That was really cool, but some people care, some people don't. I mean, Morpheus cancels that out, so I guess that's a wash between them. And then Gears Remastered shown, beta coming out after the show. And then Gears 4 trailer. I thought that was really cool. That was probably their second biggest announcement they had at the show. I really enjoyed that. And then Tomb Raider. Oh, poor Tomb Raider. They announced with November 10th release, they are going to get slaughtered by Fallout 4. Unless, which I think is the most notable thing that they'll do, is I think they'll move into early 2016. That's the logical thing for them to do. So I would be looking for, I think the game will be done, but they're going to push it back a little bit. And then a new controller was shown, early access on Xbox One. Both of those pretty cool announcements. Rare, this is something I felt was also really underrated from how big of announcement it was, but the Rare Collection, 30 games for $30. And Rare is not some terrible publisher. They're one of the greatest, they were one of the greatest at the time, and I think they have so many amazing backlog games. Obviously, you're not going to get Donkey Kong or anything, but you'll get Battletoads and all their early NES games. I think that's really cool. And then Sea of Thieves, the new Rare game that came out, it looked so-so. I guess some people like it, but that was a pretty solid Microsoft conference. I honestly did not think PlayStation had any chance, but they also came out swinging too. So let's just jump into PlayStation now. In PlayStation, they had the big announcement coming up first. The Last Guardian was re-revealed, and I went to the E3 experience, and everyone lost their mind. And I almost did too. Well, not almost, I did. And it was really cool seeing them re-release it. And then after that, I don't know if they could top it, but they did. They came out with Guerrilla's new game, Horizon. And this was a really cool game. There was like a girl fighting against machines. At one point, they came back to the city part, and it really looked like a Killzone game. So it kind of has the same art, kind of, in it. The robots had red eyes that looked kind of Killzone-ish. And a new Hitman trailer was shown. It was okay, I guess. That was a cool little game for them to get. I guess it's kind of washes out one of the boring announcements on Microsoft. And then a big it's not an announcement, but a big thing that happened also. Street Fighter V was shown with 2 new characters. I really enjoyed that. And then I think PlayStation had the chance to blow Microsoft out of the water here when Media Molecule came out, but everything about Dreams looks like I just don't care that much about it. I love Little Big Planet and I love Tearaway, but I just don't see Dreams being that game that everyone on PlayStation will love. So that was kind of a letdown in my opinion. It may be an amazing game, but I'm just going off of first impressions. And then Destiny, a lot of people care about that. They came out and had the Taken King release date shown, and that was okay. And then a game that I think is a little bit underrated that came out was Firewatch. I really enjoyed the trailer. I thought it was there had some funny parts. I like the back and forth between the, I don't know, Watcher, the Firewatch. I don't know what it was I've not seen that much about that game, but I really enjoyed that trailer. It was amazing. And then they came out with the big guns after that. They had World of Final Fantasy announced, and that's a new Final Fantasy game. So whenever there's a big announcements coming. And I thought it was okay. It kind of looks like a kiddie game. It doesn't really make sense for that because most kids don't really play Final Fantasy, kind of an older series. But this is when, in the theater I went to, everyone freaked out. They announced Final Fantasy VII. Everyone came out and screamed. Someone was like hugging each other. It was just funny overall. And that's obviously outside of the backwards compatibility from Microsoft. I think that's the biggest announcement from the show, to be honest. So I think that was a huge announcement. And then right after that, they jumped into Shenmue 3. And the people that were going off about Final Fantasy Remake were just blown away at that point. They almost lost their breath. It was really funny. And that was also a huge announcement. They had the creator come on stage, but it was a Kickstarter game. So I'm pretty sure the earliest they said their stretch goal was late 2017. So there's going to be a while waiting for that one. And then kind of simmering it down a little bit after that, Devolver Digital games, or 4 of them, came out, said first on PlayStation, so that's kind of cool. And then after that, No Man's Sky, I love that demo. When they came back and showed just how many galaxies there were, I thought that was amazing. That's probably one of the coolest live demos I've ever seen. And it didn't break either. I expected something bad to happen there, but nothing happened. This is probably the most disappointing thing from the PlayStation show overall. There were less than 2.5 minutes of time set aside for Project Morpheus. I thought that they were going to have at least 10 minutes trying to show off and pimp their new technology, but they showed 2.5 minutes. They showed the games. They didn't not even show any gameplay. I think Microsoft came away with a huge win with the VR competition, really. And it was kind of sad to see that PlayStation only came out with that. So that was kind of a win for Microsoft in that regard. And after that, a big announcement for some. I know a lot of gamers don't really care, but Call of Duty DLC is coming first to PlayStation, so it's now a PlayStation game, kind of, coming to both, but it's going to be more PlayStation oriented now. And then they came out and talked about Star Wars. That was a moment I held my breath. I thought they could have released a new Star Wars game, like not a amazing game, but they could have really came out and announced Episode 7 game for the movie. They didn't do that, and they showed Battlefront. I thought that was kind of cool. And Disney Infinity 3.0, PlayStation's gonna have exclusive playsets for episodes 1 through 6 for Disney Infinity. That was kind of cool. And then to end it all off in the perfect way, they showed Uncharted. And it didn't start off well, like many people know, but it ended with a bang. I loved every second of watching that trailer, even though I kind of want the game to come out. So that's the end of the big announcements from each conference. And if I had to pick one of the two, honestly, it was pretty close. But coming out with The Last Guardian, a Final Fantasy VII Remake, Street Fighter V, Firewatch, Shenmue 3, No Man's Sky, and then Call of Duty, honestly, you have to give it to PlayStation, because they looked and saw what the fans wanted, and they brought everything and some to the table. And I think that's why PlayStation slightly came out ahead of Microsoft at this conference. Now, you could definitely make an argument for Microsoft in every way, because they came out swinging also. They have, well, if you talk about just this year, Microsoft blows them away. There's nothing on this list from PlayStation that really looks like it's even going to come out this year, except for No Man's Sky has a chance. Battlefront was there. Call of Duty, obviously, but they don't have anything coming out this year. So if you go this year, Microsoft, but overall conference, you have to give it to PlayStation, because they blew it out of the water in every sense of the word. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and hopefully you like this. You can subscribe to my channel. I'll have a lot more game related stuff, and I'll see you all later.